Episode 56, I can't believe it. We are here already, and today we are talking about production, and we're talking about who needs to be on your crew when you're on a shoot.
So I counted up how many productions we've done so far. So in terms of long form productions, there've been over 20 so far. So in terms of feature length or series over the period of time since we started working together, and over 1,000 short films. So I think we've done every iteration imaginable of crew and how you crew up for a different type of film. So we're going to be breaking down some of that for you guys today.
And look, when we started, it was Mike and I, and we travelled all around the world, just the two of us with one camera. We had one camera shoots, and we made it work, and we made some really fun stuff.
Yeah, so I think that's a good place to start. So some of you guys may be the one-man band or the one-woman band. It's pretty important that you realise that there are some limitations to working like that. It is a real challenge being a one-person filmmaker. It doesn't mean that it's not possible, and plenty of people do it. And there's a lot that you can capture with a single-person crew, but you can't do everything.
So if you can have two people on set, it's actually what I would always try and go to. I would try not to do solo shoots if I could avoid it these days, and two people can work really well depending on what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, I like a two-person crew, particularly for really intimate subject matter. I think it can still be a real juggle between quality sound recording, multi-camera operation and lights, and interviewing. There's a lot going on there, but it is doable, and I think that is often a really good go-to number of crew.
And look, these days it would be very unusual for us to have a shoot where we didn't have at least two, if not three cameras rolling at any given time. And when you do have 2 to 3 cameras, plus all the microphones and all the needs that go with that, plus your talent, it can be quite a lot. So even having 3 sometimes is good. One person really focused on the cameras, one person really focused on sound,
and one on the talent.
And one, the director on the talent. So that's another configuration.
I think that's a really good configuration. I think 3 persons good. And in some instances, when you're getting even more complex in terms of your camera and location setup, you may need a 4th. There are downsides to bringing more people into the room with documentary filmmaking. I think that it can be really intimidating at the best of times for participants. And the more people that you pack into a room, particularly depending on their conduct on set, can make it even unbearably intimidating for some of your participants. So it's really important that your crew's chill and makes your participants feel really comfortable.
So thinking about one of those situations where we've hired crew when we've been on location overseas, we were in Washington and we were filming, it was like a board meeting with some very high level cancer control experts. And we had hired a soundie to help us on the shoot on that day, and probably every hour and a half or so he'd duck outside for a cigarette, which kind of wasn't the right environment for that kind of thing. So you just never know who you're going to get. You just got to work with what you do.
Yeah, these are all experts in cancer control, and the guy's having a cigarette out the front. So yeah, it wasn't the best look.
The best look.
But he was also belching on set and all types of things. And I think that's the thing. Like sometimes, those more jaded, more experienced freelancers that you can hire, their conduct on set is really not ideal for getting the best out of your talent. So that's something that's hard to manage, because you don't often get to screen them in that way. But I would say this, the space that you create around your participants, that safe space where they can share with you something really deep and meaningful and insightful, is one of the greatest strengths of the project you're about to make. That's a sacred space. Take it really seriously. You just want to create the best environment for them to be able to flourish in as you possibly can. And this comes back to how you set up your equipment, how you talk to them, how your crew engage with them. So this stuff's really, really important.
Yeah, so I think everything about the way you conduct yourself on a shoot is going to actually help with the quality of the material that you capture. So the more professional you are, the more professional your team is, the more comfortable your participant's going to feel, and the better the shoot's going to run, and everything's going to come together really well. So regardless of how you put your crew together and who specialises in which particular thing, The aim of it all is that everyone works as a team and you all work together and you try and get the best result you can on the day.
So, Sue, here's my big tip for these guys, and I know how hard this is when you're starting out, when you're just starting out as a filmmaker, but one of the critical things is how you manage your nerves, because unfortunately that nervous energy that you can bring to a shoot can be really contagious in a bad way and can make everyone feel really anxious and nervous, and you're not going to get the best out of your crew or your talent if it's like that. So you really need to, be calm, and be confident, believe in yourself, bring that energy to the shoot, that you feel really comfortable and relaxed here, that you're creating a space for others to flourish in, and that they're in safe hands. That's going to be one of the absolutely critical things you do for your crew, but also for your participants.
Yeah, so I think that's really good advice. So whenever you're organising the shoot, whenever it's your production, be the leader, show up, make sure everyone feels comfortable, make sure you're really organised, be as professional as you can be, and everything will run much, much better. You lead the way, and it's your film. You've got this, you can do it. So hopefully that's helped to kind of explain who you might need on any given shoot day. Whatever way you make up your crew is completely okay. Just make sure you've got the resources you need to get the best result on the day.
Yeah, and it's not one solution for your whole production. There's going to be plenty of days in your production when you might be able to get away with a one-person crew. Great. There's other days when you're going to want 2 or 3, depending on what's going on, and maybe even more on some of the more complex shoot days. So this is a really important thing to start mapping out at this stage, so that you know who you need to hire, ideally screening them well ahead of time, getting the right types of people into the mix, and go forth and prosper.
Hopefully that's helped clarify for you who you need on your crew on production days. And if you need more clarification about what each of those crewing roles actually does, you can head back into the pre-production section and find the episode on crew, and that will give you much more information. That's it for us this week, and next week we are back and we are going to be talking all about consenting. How do you get people to consent to be in your film? See you next week.